So you're an aspiring artist, a designer, maybe even a future architect? Then you've probably heard about the elementary and intermediate drawing grade exams. Today, we're going to unpack these super important tests and give you a clear, actionable playbook for success, all based on the official guidelines. Here's what we're going to tackle. First, why these exams are your launchpad into the art world. Then we'll compare the elementary and intermediate levels so you know which is right for you. After that, we'll decode the 4 main papers, dive into the techniques you need to master, and finally, we'll connect the dots from these exams straight to your dream career.
You know, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I just want to share this quote from the official exam handbook. Every child is an artist. It's such a great reminder that this whole process isn't just about passing a test. It's about unlocking that artist that's already inside of you.
So, why are these exams such a big deal? Well, because they are way more than just another school test. These are government-recognized qualifications, and for a lot of the top art colleges, they're not just recommended, they're mandatory. Think of it as the very first official stamp in your artistic passport.
And honestly, having these certificates in your back pocket gives you a serious leg up. Whether you're dreaming of a career in graphic design, architecture, or the fine arts, this piece of paper tells colleges and future employers that you've got the solid foundational skills they're looking for.
All right, so the exam is split into 2 levels, or tiers, elementary and intermediate. And this isn't just about one being easy and one being hard. It's actually a really smart progression designed to build your skills step by step. Let's break down the difference. Okay, so the elementary exam, which is usually for students around 6th standard or so, is all about the fundamentals. We're talking basic proportions, good, clean line work, and simple composition. It's your starting block. But the intermediate exam, that's a huge leap forward. It's for students who've already nailed the basics and are ready to tackle much more detailed scenes, tricky perspectives, and really apply those complex artistic ideas.
Want to ace your entrance exam? Get expert guidance at Chitraboot Art Classes. Limited seats only. So claim now.
Now, for the main event, let's get into the 4 compulsory papers you'll face at both levels. Seriously, understanding exactly what's expected in each of these is the absolute key to building a winning study plan.
Paper 1 is all about drawing what you see right in front of you. At the elementary level, it's called object drawing. You get 2.5 hours to draw a pretty simple group of objects. But at the intermediate level, it evolves into what we call still life. The time gets bumped to 3 hours, and the challenge goes way up. You're dealing with more objects, and this is the big one, complex drapery. That means you've got to learn how to draw fabric, capturing all those realistic folds, shadows, and textures. So, what should you be practicing? Well, for elementary, get comfortable with simple things like buckets, pots, and big vegetables like a pumpkin. For intermediate, your focus has to be on rendering different textures, making glass look shiny, metal look dull, and fabric look rough. And here's the most important rule of all. No rulers, no compasses, no gadgets. It has to be 100% freehand.
Let's move on to paper 2, memory drawing. This one tests your ability to create a scene entirely from your imagination. For the elementary exam, you'll need to draw a simple, everyday scene with about 3 or 4 people. But for intermediate, you have to level up to creating a whole narrative with 4 or more people in action, and you really need to show a good understanding of perspective to create a sense of depth.
To get ready for this, start by sketching scenes you know well, like a family picnic or a day at the park. For the intermediate level, you should push yourself to imagine more dynamic, crowded scenes, like a busy marketplace. The goal is always to tell a story and capture movement. And the cool part? You get to play with a ton of different materials here. Watercolors, pastels, colored pencils, even inks. Paper 3 is all about design. At the elementary level, it's about creating nice, balanced, decorative patterns inside a simple shape, like a circle or a square. But for the intermediate exam, you've got to show a lot more sophistication. You'll be expected to use motifs, things like birds, leaves, or traditional cultural patterns, and weave them into a really complex and beautiful design. And finally, we have the most technical paper of them all, paper 4. At the elementary level, this covers plane geometry, that's your basic 2D shapes, plus some simple lettering, but the intermediate exam throws a major curveball, solid geometry. This is where your technical drafting skills are seriously put to the test.
So what on earth is solid geometry? It sounds intense, but it's basically the skill of drawing 3D objects, like cubes and cones, on a 2D sheet of paper. You have to create what are called plan and elevation views, which is really just a fancy way of saying a top-down view and a front-on view. Mastering this is an absolute game changer, especially if you want to be an architect or an engineer.
Okay, deep breath. We know what's in the papers. Now let's switch gears and talk strategy. How do you actually master the techniques to not just pass, but to get a really great score? Here's your game plan.
For object drawing and still life, just follow this 4-step process. First, compose everything so it looks balanced on the page. Second, get those details down freehand, paying close attention to getting the proportions right. Third, add your light and shading to make the objects look 3D. And finally, bring it to life with color and texture.
Memory drawing can feel a little overwhelming, but there's a method to the madness. Start by drawing a quick border. Then, and this is the most important tip, stage your main human figures first. Get their poses and placement right before you do anything else. Once they're set, you can fill in the background to build the world around them. And for the last step, use expressive color to make your scene pop.
For that design paper, the examiners are really looking for 4 key things. 1, a great sense of balance. 2, a smart color scheme that works well together. 3, creativity in how you mix and match different shapes. And 4, and I cannot stress this enough, neatness. A clean, accurate finish can make a world of difference to your score.
All right, let's zoom out and connect all this hard work back to the big picture. Because these aren't just skills you learned for an exam. These are the actual building blocks for a ton of amazing creative careers.
And this is where it all clicks into place. Look at this. That really tough, solid geometry paper? Boom! That's the foundation of 3D visualization you'll need for architecture. The lettering and design paper, that's literally typography and composition for graphic design. And memory drawing, that's the core skill for storyboarding and animation. You see, every single paper directly prepares you for a real-world creative job.
So, these Drawing Great exams give you so much more than a certificate. They give you a blueprint for your future. You now have the plan, you know the techniques, and you understand what it takes. The only question left is, what are you going to create?